A land developer sells rectangular lots with lengths that are 18 feet less than 3 times their width. Each lot will have a 6-foot privacy fence around its entire perimeter. The developer finds that the cost of the privacy fence is $14 per linear foot for materials and installation. Since lots are sold by the square footage of their area, the developer decides to advertise the privacy fences in terms of their cost per square foot of the land on each lot rather than per linear foot of fencing. The developer uses the rational function C of W equals 14 times 8W minus 36 divided by W times 3W minus 18, where W represents the width in feet of a rectangular lot to generate the table for cost of the privacy fence per square foot of purchased land. A real estate agent working with the developer asks how much land a customer will buy if their fence costs $2 per square foot. Write an equation related to C of W that the developer could solve to answer the real estate agent's question, and use the table he generated to approximate the solution. So writing an equation, then if we know that the fence costs $2 per square foot, then we know that would be C of W, the cost per square foot. And so we can just substitute in 2 for C of W in our equation. And so now doing that, then since we know that C of W would be 2, and if we want to approximate that from our table, then notice here that C of W decreases as our W value gets bigger. And so as it's decreasing, we see that 2 would be between $2.07 and $1.61. Which then means that the width would have to be between 20 and 25. And so it's going to be a lot closer to 20 since $2 is much closer to $2.07 than $1.61. And so we can approximate it's going to be a little bit over 20 feet. But to get the exact answer, let's go ahead and put our function into our calculator and look in the table. And so I've gone ahead and put this function in the calculator. And the key here is to put parentheses around the entire numerator and then dividing by the denominator with parentheses around the entire denominator. Because otherwise, if you just press divide, then it won't understand that, the W is supposed to be in the denominator. And, just putting parentheses around the entire numerator and entire denominator in addition to the other parentheses we already have, then that just ensures that it gets the order correct in the calculator. And so I've gone ahead and done that, and I've just put an X instead of W. And looking at our table, then I'll show you first, I did go ahead and change my table set when I press second window to starting at 20 and 5/10 since I know it's going to be bigger than 20, and then I actually made it go by smaller decimals so that I could get a more exact answer. So I'm having it go by hundredths. And so then pressing second graph, then we'll just go and we see that these are all very close to 2, and we're going to try to get as close to 2 as possible. And so right here, at 20 and 58 hundredths, it's almost 2, but it looks like the closest here is going to be at 20 and 59 hundredths, where it's 1.9996. And so that is very close, the closest one we have here. So let's go ahead and pick that as our width. And so now we know that W will be about 20 and 59 hundredths. And so using that, we need to answer this question about how much land a customer will buy. And so that means basically the area of the land, how much land in square feet. And so of course we know that width times length is equal to the area. And so we know the width is 20 and 59 hundredths, and then we don't know the length, but it does tell us that the length is 18 feet less than 3 times the width. And so if we want to write that out, then we know that would be 3W minus 18 equals the length. And so then we can plug in what we know for W. So plugging that into a calculator, then we get 43 and 77 hundredths feet. And so then we can go ahead and plug that in up here for length. And so multiplying those together, then we get 901, and then if we round it off to the nearest hundredth, then it'll be 22 hundredths. So it's approximately 901 and 22 hundredths square feet. So that would be the amount of land that someone would buy if they were paying $2 per square foot. Let's go ahead and summarize. The equation whose solution answers the question is 2 equals 14 times 8W minus 36 divided by W times 2W minus 18. A table of values for C of W equals 14 times 8W minus 36 divided by W times 2W minus 18 shows that a lot width of 20 and 59 hundredths feet corresponds to a fence that costs $2 per square foot. Therefore, the length of the lot is 3 times 20 and 59 hundredths minus 18 equals 43 and 77 hundredths. The area of land a customer will buy if their fence costs $2 per square foot is 20 and 59 hundredths times 43 and 77 hundredths is approximately 901 and 22 hundredths square feet.